Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending our Client Success Training webinar today, hosted by Leap's Client Success team. At our webinar today, we are joined by Jane Urmston from ThinkWild. Whether you're already a LawY or Matter AI expert or would like to learn more about the functionalities, this webinar will show you strategies and features to maximize efficiency. Before we get started, let's go through a couple of initial housekeeping items. Today's training session will run for approximately 45 minutes in listen-only mode. We welcome all participants to enter questions into the chat window as they arise, and if we do not answer them during the presentation, we have allotted some time at the end to address them. A recording of this session will be made available after the presentation and will be emailed to all registrants. Please note that all new firms that reach the AI usage target of 5 LawY conversations and 10 plus Matter AI interactions, they will be automatically entered into a draw for a chance to win one of 5 $100 gift cards. That's a total of $500 in gift cards. Last quarter's winner of $500 gift card was Legate Law. Without further ado, I will pass it on to Jane.
Hi all, and welcome to today's webinar. And as Vanessa said, thank you very much for that introduction. As Vanessa said, we are here to learn all about AI, and I've got a few of the AI products that I'm going to show you today. We are going to be running this on a database, on a Leap database. So I will invite you all to do that with me. So it's an interactive session today. It's a practical session today. So all of the examples that we're going to do, it's something that you can do on your database already. So if you're all logged into Leap, you can then get started with me. I've just got a little presentation that I'm just going to share with you. So just bear with me a second. I'm just going to share my screen. And let's take a look at what AI is all about. So as you can see, working with AI in Leap. So there's lots of different areas where AI is kind of situated, is placed in Leap. A lot of the areas you will access through a matter. So when we take a look at all the different places, we will be doing all of this through the matter. First of all, Matter AI. So Matter AI is how you can get answers from your matter. So Matter AI intelligently examines your Leap's matter correspondence, all the notes, matter details, critical dates, and appointments. It can even access your calendar items that are stored within Leap to provide you with insights, instant insights and information. You've got hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of documents that you have stored on your matters, and you'll receive detailed responses along with references to the specific documents in seconds, a lot quicker than we could ever do. Matter AI analyzes all the intricate details within your matter. It looks deeper into those documents and a time that's a lot quicker than what we can do from reviewing those documents, reviewing those files, and you can use Matter AI to check through all of those correspondence. Matter AI will enhance the quality of your work, undoubtedly enhance the quality of your work. It increases your productivity and boosts your productivity because it then allows you to then do everything that you need to do on the file, and then you can rely on that Matter AI to then be able to check information. There's a lot of features on Matter AI, and we're going to go through each one of them, and I'd like you to click along with me if you can. It's going to look through your details and critical dates, through your emails. You can also ask it to draft emails based on the information that you found, which will send it directly to Microsoft Outlook, so you can already see the integration of the whole product. It can help you to draft documents, that you can then look at documents that are saved on a matter, and then you can summarize those documents and look through folders. You can compare multiple documents for discrepancies or similarities, or even just select individual documents to have a conversation and interrogate through that matter. You can extract key terms and concepts from documents. You can analyze financial transactions based on the information that's stored on the matters, retrieve contact information, provide a chronology. There's very little that you can do on there, and we're going to take a good look at that and a few examples within Matter AI chat. You'll also today be looking at LawY. So if any of you have kind of had a look at LawY up to now, LawY itself is a product that does research for you. So it's your trusted AI legal assistant. It's there to help a hand where you're going off to do some research. So it can be that research assistant that you would normally instruct to go off and do that research and then come back with the answers for you. So what Leap will do is go off and do that research. It does go out, goes out to search within the province that you're in, and it will also look at the type of law that you're working in, which again, when we take a look at why, you'll see that we are just going through a matter to actually find that information. You can then rely on the responses without worrying about hallucinated case law or inaccurate information. Leap will also tell you the case law that it's found. Every piece of information that Leap returns, whether it's the Matter AI information, whether it's LawY information, it's all fully backed up, and it gives you the links to those areas, the citations where it's found that information. It's designed to take on heavy lifting of research and admin tasks, and we're all super busy people, but the use of AI in Leap just eliminates the need on the requirement for you to spend that time doing those research and admin tasks. You can review legislation, you can draft affidavits, and you can also summarize case law. Helps you to work smarter. You ask the question, you can get the response evaluated. We'll also be taking a look at how you can get that evidence and the response submitted for verification, because for you to see that information, if you're happy with the information that it provides, then that's great. Otherwise, you can push it through to get that verified by a team or a member of the team of verifying lawyers that Leap have built up and they have working behind the scenes for them. You'll also then be notified that the verified response has been returned and the results of that response as well. And then finally, we're going to put everything together with AI prompts, and you'll see how Leap have provided lots of matter-specific AI prompts. So those documents have been created by internal legal teams. They have gone through the prompts, made them relevant to the area of law that you work with, and it then means that it will then pull in the information from the matters. Again, it's looking at matter information. LawY goes out to do the research, but the AI, Matter AI, and certainly the AI prompts are going to bring through that matter information. All of these things that we're going to take a look at today would all normally take us lots of time to do, or delegating those tasks to someone else. So they are tasks that we can do, or we can actually delegate them onto other people. So let's take a look at how they're going to work. So I'm just going to take that presentation away, and then I'm in Leap. I'm on my database. So if you guys are logged on with me on your databases, we can actually take a look at a few of those examples. So I am in a database. My province on my database is Ontario. So I appreciate that you'll be in lots of different provinces, but we're going to work through this together. So the first example that we're going to take a look at from the presentation is Matter AI. So we're first of all going to go into a matter. Okay, so double click on that matter, and all of the AI exercises that we're going to do today are through a matter. I've got a few examples to do with you, and you can see on our matter we have got data. We've got details of the client, we've got the other side, we've got the witnesses in there, we've got details, we've got children's details, we've got the court details. So we pretty much know a lot of the information on that left-hand side. We've also got correspondence on the right-hand side. We've got affidavits, we've got answers to, we've also got applications on there. So we've got a good case history going on those matters. So what you can do is we can use a lot of the Matter AI chats. Before we touch on this Matter AI chat, guys, what I want to do is just take you to the Matter Summary tab. It's an AI tab where if we click on the tab, that will then go off and it will then obtain information from your matter based on the details that have been generated by a behind the scenes prompt. So as you can see here, we've got a matter summary report. So behind the scenes, what Leap has got set on this matter summary page is a prompt. And it will then, and those prompts where we will see at the end, the prompts are all designed to give you matter specific information. So rather than just giving you just straightforward information about the client, the details of the matter, it's actually presented to you in a way that you would expect that information to be presented to you for this particular matter type of divorce. So you can see here the case details at the top. Got the file number, the matter details, and the case type. It's got the client's information. And what it also starts to do is it starts to populate it with the information from the file. So the matter summary is a great AI tool that you can use straight away on your matters. It's going to read through your file, provide details quicker than we could ever do, but also the information and the citations, the reference documents on the end. So you'll see there's a document number on the end, 145, 1453. And if I just scroll down, you can see at the bottom, it will list all of those documents down here. We've got 8 documents where it's found the information. So from that prompt, which has been designed, as we say, by the legal team at LEAP, you can see it's providing you with background information. This is typically the kind of information that we'd want when we would need to run a matter summary. It's then providing you with those details, telling you about any issues in dispute. Then as we scroll down, we can see the current matter details, and then a brilliant event timeline. We can see any dates where things have events have happened, but also any applications. It will tell you whether any date hasn't been specified. As we scroll down, then we've now got more AI features where it will provide you with strengths, the client's position, strengths, the weaknesses, and any opportunities and threats. So we can see already from this, it's a great file review tool. It's a great tool for you to use to see where you're up to with your matters, but also it's great. We don't need to do any holiday handover notes anymore. We can just go off on holiday and knowing that our files are going to get reviewed, but also the information at the click of a button is provided by the rest of the team to cover for me. So you can see just basic information, but very valuable information just by clicking on that matter summary. The first time that you do click on it, you'll see that it is reviewing the matters and the documents. At the top right-hand corner here, you can refresh. You can see that it was generated 50 minutes ago, but then also on the left hand side here, it will tell you how many times you've refreshed and gone into that, because obviously data is being updated all the time. So that is a great kind of foundation, a great starting point for that introduction to AI. So I'm going to go now onto details and correspondence. That matter summary tab just provides you with a summary. You can't ask any further questions. We can't ask it to create any documents. It's just a summary tab. But if I go into details and correspondence, this is where I can then start to ask information about the correspondence, about the details on the matter, and then start to work with this fabulous tool here, Matter AI Chat. So there's lots of different variations to this Matter AI Chat. Number one that we're going to take a look at is the main feature here, Matter AI Chat, which opens up in its own little window, which is great because you can just move it out of the way if you kind of want to see the file and the matter behind the scenes. But as you can see here from this window, it's already welcoming you to Matter AI. You can ask me for insights, information, questions from the correspondence in the matter. What would you like to know? Typical AI screen, but with the kind of the leap effect built into it, because as you can see down here on the right hand side, LEAP has already started to suggest questions for you. So based on the information that's on the file, based on the documentation that's on the file, we've already got the start of some questions going on down here. What you'll also see, just to review the screen very quickly, guys, over here on the left-hand side, like with any AI pieces that you currently use, you can start a new chat, because sometimes when you're having an AI conversation and you're finding AI information out, then each time you ask a question, if LEAP will or AI will then read any information that you've that it's provided before. So it's good if you want to have a refreshed chat, you can start a new chat at the top. But when we click on new chat, you'll see that it's offering, do we want to have a new chat about the matter, about any documents in particular, or about a folder. So if you have lots of folders, you have everything organized, or you've got lots of documents, you can then specify just to have a chat about particular documents. You can see down here on the left hand side, we've got history of any chats that you have. A lot of people ask me when we're doing training on AI, does it list all the chats that the people working on the matters have had? It will just, guys, only list your chats. It's the history of your chats on there. Okay, you can see down here at the bottom, if ever you need to know and read up on the terms and conditions of Matter AI in Leap, you can access that at the bottom. The window to the right is where all the action happens. You can see that's where we're going to be asking anything, asking our questions. But if we just take a look at the top right hand corner, I'm just here at the top on the bubble, on the three little dots. If we click there, this takes you to the view the document status. Now that is important because you might be wanting to interrogate your matter and find information out. And if it's not returning the information that you've requested, it might be that there's a document that has failed to be uploaded, or it's still being uploaded to the AI. So you can see here we've got 14 documents that have loaded. You can click on the three dots there and tell it to exclude the document. It might be something that doesn't really you don't want to include it on the AI on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to Matter AI. So hopefully you're doing this with me, guys. And you can see here at the top, you've got the matter information, but we've also got the agentic AI tool as well at the top. So you can kind of toggle between the two. Down at the bottom, underneath the Ask Anything, you've got the option to actually use either GBT or Claude. So the AI product here is using AI GBT, or you've got your Claude Sonnet or Claude Opus. It depends on your preference as to whether you want to go specifically to one of the other ones there. So let's ask it a question. Okay, so I'm just going to do a question here, a simple question. What are the details of the divorce? So that's going to go off and it's going to read through the information. A very basic question, guys. You'll hopefully ask your question, ask your matter a more detailed question. And like with any AI tool that we use, you can see here Leap is effectively running the same scenario here, because not only does it give you the information, it also kind of backs it up with the information and the links to the documents. So these are the details, and this is where it's been found in those documents. You can see the links on there. So if you then click on those links, you can go and preview the document. You can then, if you wanted to then generate a chat about that particular document, you can do, or preview the document. You might wonder why it's brought that information in. So you can see that information from there. Not only does it give you that, it also presents things in a very logical way. So the relationship timeline, we can see the details of the divorce are this. These are the initial information. They were living together, married on this date, and it's brought through that information based on the links to the documents there. We've got children in the matter, we've got court details and the court file number. So it doesn't just give you an answer, it will then give you specific details on there. So scrolling all the way down to the bottom, I've got a fantastic summary of the details of the divorce. So if we look at the bottom now, and then just over on each of those kind of areas that it's returned, you can see that it's brought in almost like another ask bubble over here. So what you can use this for is you can then have another discussion based on the information that it's brought back. Or like we saw before with the documents, you can then say, well, actually, I need to remove this part of this question or this information. Okay, because what you might want to do, like we're going to do at the bottom here, you might want to use the information that you found and generate a letter, generate an email, and then if you wanted to omit any of the details above, you can use that by clicking on that and then taking out that particular reference. Okay, so down here at the bottom, then based on the question that we've asked at the top, I'm just going to say, can you draft an email to the client with the summary of the above? So with all of the AI products that you use, all of the AI parts in Leap that you'll use, each one of them has its own almost like major working or major specific way of working. But then also you can do additional things in there as well. So we've not only asked the questions, but we can also ask it to draft things like emails. You can ask it to draft letters and documents. You can ask it to draft in a particular way. I'm just going to keep it simple for now, guys. We've got a lot to cover in the time, but hopefully you've done that with me there. So we've asked it to draft the email. It's titled the email at the top. And then I'm writing to provide a summary of the divorce details based on that. And you can see that even from the information that it's found, that's a great starting email, because we would have been there reading through the details, reading through the documents if we didn't have this fabulous AI tool here. So alongside the details that it's brought back, you'll notice there are a few icons at the bottom. And again, they're very important icons for you, because you can then ask it to regenerate a response. AI being AI, sometimes it can return a response and you might go, well, actually, I might want to refresh some information, more documents have been added. So you can ask it to regenerate a response. The button to the right of that is copy response. So you can copy and it just simply copies to your clipboard. Or you can see here, share response. If you want to, because we've asked it to generate an email, we can ask it to generate a response. It will then just copy and paste into an email. It doesn't send it automatically, guys. You can still redraft that email. Over here on the right hand side, did you like the response? Was the response not relevant? You can provide feedback, and providing feedback to Leap is important because you can tell them whether the response was good or not, whether you've liked it or not, but also provide that reason for that. So I'm just going to choose you as an example there. We're going to open up in Microsoft Outlook, and we're going to then click send, and then that will generate an email for us with the details. Now it does, as we say, copy and paste the information into there. So you might just need to do a little bit of tidying up from the header and the footer part, but hopefully you'll see that that works brilliantly in providing you with an email going to the client, as you can see at the top. So it's even filled in who it's going to on there for you. That looks fantastic. Okay, so I'm not going to click send, guys. I'm just going to close that down, and then we can move on to the next piece. Okay, so you can see down here at the bottom as well, the regeneration of the questions. So the next question that Leap's suggesting, that was divorce relief, is he seeking, or what divorce relief is he seeking? So you can then just go ahead and have those conversations. All the time, it's kind of, regenerating those responses and almost like following on from where you've left off above. So I'm just going to close that down and just take us back into the Matter, because if we click on Matter AI Chat, it will scan through all the documents, all the information. It will go through calendar and tasks. So the more information you have in Leap, the better all of this system is going to work for you, and you're going to get a lot more out of those AI products at the top. But one of the things you can do also is you can select multiple documents here. You can right click, and one of the options that you do have on your very extensive right click is Matter AI New Document Chat. So if you select it from here, it means that you specifically referenced documents rather than having that conversation and reviewing that file with all of the documents. So you can just look at things specifically. On those documents, you might want to ask it to, can you give me the similarities? You might have different versions of a document on your file. So you can ask it to give you the similarities or the difference between version 1, 2, and 3. So then you're just then working with documents rather than the whole matter. So I'm just going to close that down from there. We're just going to open up a document, and then I'm just going to show you one more piece of Matter AI. And if any of you now have those examples, and hopefully you've worked through an example with me as well, just to show you that with AI, Matter AI is also available in Word. So if you are in a document from a Matter, it's just opening up on a different screen. I feel like I'm watching a tennis match at the moment. So it's going to open up on a screen for us. And what you can also do is you can also introduce the Leap for Word, the Matter AI panel for Word as well. So as you know, for those of you who use a lot of precedents in Leap, we have got some documents that have got Leap documents or Leap information that's going to pull through. And also what you can do is you can activate the Matter AI add-in as well. So if I just move that over for us, guys, then at the top here in your add-ins, you'll see if you go into your add-ins tab in Word, that's just generating for us there. But if you go to your add-ins tab at the top here, that will then open up your add-ins tab and you'll have Matter AI in there. So you could be in the middle of this document and need to refer back to the Matter. You might not necessarily be in the Matter at the time, but if you go to your add-ins, you can open up your Matter AI and it will then populate a panel on the right hand side where, like Matter AI chat, you can go on and ask questions. So you don't need to be in the Matter itself. You can go into a document that's generated and you can then ask the questions using the add-in button on here. I'm going to let that generate because it's just running a little slow. It's a document that has a lot of content, so I'm just going to move that out of the way and we'll just take a look before we finish. So that's all about Matter AI. So you'll see the Matter summary, you'll see the document, the AI document, and also how it all links into Word as well. So number 2, let's take a look at research. So we can see here that we've got the research button. Okay, so if we click on LawY, okay, so whilst that's loading, guys, hopefully you've had a good example to ask, a good question to ask on your Matter AI chat. Use the suggested questions at the bottom right hand corner, asked it to draft an email or a letter, taken a look at how that copies on the clipboard, and then seeing how that works in your email or your document. That's now settled down a little bit there. So if I click on add-ins and click on Matter AI, that then opens up the Matter AI for Word box or panel on the right hand side, and it's now going off to generate. So we'll leave that running as well, guys, and then just minimize that out of the way. And sometimes something that you do click on might take a while to load, and it's simply because there's a lot of information that it's generating, a lot of documents that it's reading, and it just takes a little while just to open up for us, but it's a lot quicker than if I was doing it or we were doing it. Okay, so moving on to research AI. So this is LawY. So if you've used LawY before, you will have experienced it's going to, first of all, its kind of main feature, its main functionality is the research. But along with all of the other AI products that we see throughout Leap, they're all working together. They're all offering different and similar functionality. Like from here, once we've done some research, we can then ask it to generate us an email as well. So you'll see it's got its primary function, but we can also do other things in there. So you're not having to then do something in here, move on to something else. We can do it all within the same area. So what is it that we want to take a look at in here? So I've got a quick question that we can ask in here. So I'm going to type in my question, what are the steps to obtain an uncontested divorce in Ontario? Okay, and then just click return, click ask, and we can see how this works. And whilst this is generating, we can take a look at the window and see what features we have in here. So you can see down here on the left hand side, I had a little practice before, but those options down here on the left hand side, that will again list all the different questions and the different research options that you've been asking for in LawY, and it will list all of your questions here. So what you can use LawY for is you can use it to build up your own little kind of knowledge base. So as you're asking those questions, you can keep coming back into here through a matter, because LawY is kind of unassociated with the matter that you're working on. It knows the province that you're in, it knows the matter type that you're in, but that's all it's kind of relying on at the moment. What it will then do is it will go ahead and do that research, just like if we were going to go on a Google search and do the research, but what it's doing is it's returning the province information and also around a divorce matter type. Now, we might want to then say, well, ask it a follow-up question. Can you then say, I want to return the same question, but in a different province? You might have a client who's, within a different province that you might want to ask the same question. So even though it's kind of channeling through that province, you can then ask it to kind of reference somewhere else. But if we just scroll down on here, you can see it's brought through the information, and where it needs to reference any guidelines, any case law, you can see it's got the link there. So the citation links are here. What are the procedures? The Ontario court forms. It's then showing you again, picking out this information from the same link there. So you've got your fees, and I'm just going to maximize that window, guys, then we can see this a little bit more. So this is the process. Now, it's a simple question, it's a simple research that we've just asked it for, but you can see we've got a lot of content going on there, guys. And like with Matter AI, what LawY does is it also down here at the bottom shows you your reference points. Where has it got that information from? 7 sources. Click on the options there, and you've got 10 references. It's cited 10 times in that reference material. That one is 4 times, that one is 3 times. So you can see, so it's showing you the top hits are at the top. So that's the place where it's getting it from. That's where a lot of that research information is from. So how this works, it captures the information, gives you a lot of information there, guys. And of course, we've got these little kind of icons down here, similar to Matter AI. We can copy to the clipboard. We'll come back to that one in a second. You can see we've got the thumbs up, thumbs down. And again, you can be honest, you can be transparent. Leap is looking for that feedback. If it was great feedback, sometimes we kind of focus on maybe not great feedback, but great feedback is good, as well as, well, maybe, the information that came back wasn't what you were looking for. Again, you can provide that feedback. It goes straight to Leap and straight to the AI team, the LawY team. So over here, the sources and then verified, which we'll touch upon in a second. But you can see down here at the bottom, suggestions, like with the Matter Chat AI, the questions that we were asking, the information that we wanted through that matter, Leap then generated the responses or generated the further suggested questions at the bottom. LawY does the same. So based on that information, it's now down at the bottom. So suggesting further questions, because you might have further questions that you need to ask on that research. I've kept mine simple for now, so hopefully you've got a very simple example that you've used, or a complicated one. So down here at the bottom, then you can ask your own follow-up question, or we can use one of the questions here. So I'm just going to use one of Leap's questions. You can see here at the top, sure that's a little brain icon there, but it's filtering the documents, nice little kind of cog icon at the top, but it's telling you where it's up to, and it's doing it at some incredible speed, a lot quicker than what we could do this one as. So it's generating that response for us. So what information can we capture? So we can see at the top right hand corner here, deep research and human verification. So with LawY, because it's providing you with research, you can then decide, are we happy with that research? Is it good? Can we use this research for what we need today? If you need to, you can push this through for verification. And what the verification does is it will send through the system, it will send the details of your question, your research to one of Leap's verifying lawyers. And the verifying lawyers, which anyone who is on the call today, if it's something that you are interested in, you can also apply to be a verifying lawyer, because you might want to be involved on that side, be quite interested in providing a second opinion or further research that you've found to other lawyers. So as you can see here, it's provided the results of the second question. Now, what you can use that information at the bottom here, before we go and discuss the human verification at the top, is you can also ask it to draft an email to the client with summary of the above, like we did before. But if I just scroll down to the bottom, this little option here, this is one of my favorite options, because sometimes there might be a lot of information above, there might be a little bit of too much information, and instead of going through and kind of taking information out, copying it to the clipboard and running that back through again, what you can do is you can ask AI to make it shorter. I'm a fan. So you can make it shorter, and unlike me, where I sit there and think, when's it going to appear? Do I have to look for something else? We just have to be a little bit patient, because by making it shorter, it's taking all of the details above and it will present it in a little panel to you very soon. I'm usually not that patient, and I'm usually clicking away wondering where it's gone, but it just pops up on there. And as you can see, if you scroll down, if you're happy with that, you can copy it to the clipboard and then use it in letters, documents and emails, etc. But alongside that, Ask AI, you can also ask it to remove personal information. You might have, what I tend to find some people do when we're doing the LawY research, is they might mention the client, they might mention details about their matter. And before you pass that through for human verification, you will want to remove any personal information, because what you don't want to do is push through and ask for research with any of your kind of client's details, any details of the matter. So if you have asked any questions, you can get that information removed. You can ask it to improve the writing. If you know the questions have come through, you might want to improve the writings, fix any spelling or grammar, or translate it into another language. So all of which fantastic tools on there. So you can also get it to draft you emails, but let's take a look now at this feature. Okay, so if we click here, deep research, or you can ask it to get verified here, I'm always drawn to the orange block at the top right hand corner when I'm doing this LawY feature. So this will then say it's generating the questions. So it's taking all of the questions, because they're important. For someone to give you a second opinion, they need to know the questions that you've asked, of course, with anything personally removed. So Leap is now saying, so which questions do you want to push through for that deeper research, or the verification? So you can select those two, or you can then go ahead and add further questions. You might want to back it up with some more evidence. So do you want research only? Do you want to apply matter information? You'll notice that it's not ticked. And do you want that lawyer verification? Do we want to get it checked? Okay, so you can opt for those options. I'm going to click submit. And then you'll see that it was submitted with verification. Okay, now where that sits now, so I could close that down, I will get a notification back through the system to say that the verification has been returned. So if I just minimize that out of the way, go back to the main Leap window, it will appear in the little notification bell at the top. But unfortunately, mine, let me just go back to it from here, my LawY, when we go onto the left-hand side and we go to the deep research and verification, this is where it will land when it comes back to you that's been verified. Unfortunately, mine gets skipped. So because I'm on a test database, guys, it doesn't go through to so yours will not say it's been skipped. Yours will go through. Mine is on a training database, which sometimes makes me sad, because I might want to know information, but we're on a test database. So as we can see, that has been skipped, but that won't be skipped for you. So you'll see here are the options. There's research in progress and it will also tell you the verification is in progress. So if it's a common case law, if it's something that is, rather than it being a very intricate, very bespoke matter type, where you might need a specialized lawyer, that could take up to 24 hours to come back for that second opinion. But usually a couple of hours, 2-4 hours, something like that, you might get that confirmation back for that verification. So as you can see, LawY has its own fantastic feature, but it's also got the ability to then be able to draft emails and of course push through for that verification. So hopefully you've done that with me. You've clicked on your matter, you've gone to LawY, you've then asked the question, done some research on there, you've then pushed that through for that verification. So our final piece that we're going to take a look at is an AI prompt. So I'm just going to close this down from here. Now I do have a document that I opened before, and I'm just going to open that for us here. And as you can see, this is a current list of the prompts that we have in Canada available as at June 26th this year. So we can see all the different provinces and you can see all the different references on there. Now we can see this is a very extensive list, guys, and it's changed an awful lot since the introduction of AI and in particular the prompts. And it means that in all of your different areas, in all of the different areas of law, they've got a substantive amount of prompts available. Now you can get that information from clicking at the top right hand corner on the question mark here to go to help and support, or I'm just going to go help for this window, and then I can show you where the prompt library is. So I'm just going to move that over for us here, and you can access that prompt library all the way down here in this bottom section of your LEAP Help Center. You can see here you've got the prompt library. So this is one way which you can open up that prompt library. And as you can see, it's a very interactive link because once you click on there, it will open up the details for us. So if I go to Ontario and we say in, for example, litigation, there's 38 prompts. So if I just click on that, it's then going to open that up for me. So in the type of law that you all specialize, LEAP has created these fantastic prompts, and the prompts are documents which have been given specific guidelines, specific instructions, and it will then take out and extract the information from your matter. So before the prompts, we would have to go into the matter, review before AI, should we say, we go into the matter, review the document, sit there for hours and hours, preparing the affidavits, preparing the motions, preparing all the key documents that we do. What LEAP have done is they've put together with their legal teams, put together these prompts, and the prompts are guidelines or guide documents, instruction documents, where it's going to pull in the relevant information from your matter in a format that we need to present it to the courts, to the other side on all our legal work. So how do we access the prompts? So the prompts don't have a button here. The prompts are actually sitting within forms and precedents because they are a precedent, they're a document. When we go into here, we can go to browse. So they sit within the browse tab. And by design, when you go into browse, LEAP will show you first of all the AI prompt library. So not the main library that we've just seen, but the library of prompts that are available within that area of law. So LEAP knows it's civil litigation based on the matter type here, as you can see, and it's showing you these are all the prompts that have been created for that particular line of work. You can see if we scroll into family, and if I go to divorce and separation, again, typically in that area of law, we've got divorce mate forms, you've got divorce mate agreements, but here our divorce prompt library. So all the majority of the areas of law within the provinces where prompts are available, we've got prompts, if not general prompts like matter summary. So you can see there's a prompt here that gives you the documented information that the tab provides at the top. You can see how AI is just flowing all the way through the system. Okay, so the way that the prompts work, as we say, they are Word documents. So I'm just going to scroll all the way back down to litigation and do an example with you. So if you were to do, let's take a look on here. So if we were going to do an affidavit for motion to amend the statement of defense or the statement of claim, okay, so on this particular matter, what I'm going to do here is click select and open up that document. So what you would have on some of the prompts, you would have your document or your form open. Some of the prompts actually provide you with the document itself or the form itself. But what its intention is to actually extract the information from your matter. Then it's going to present it to you, but also present it to you in the format that it needs for you to then copy and paste that into your form or generate the document if it's a pure document for us. So as you can see, it's gone back to Word. So that was the one that we were in before, guys. So it's opened up for us. And as you can see, our little best friend, Matter AI for Word, sits on that right-hand side. So here is the prompt, and this is what a prompt is all about. So the matter summary tab that we started with, we're finishing with the prompts. We started with prompts because that tab has its own prompt behind the scenes. So as you can see, I'm just going to scroll in for you whilst the Matter AI is just busy working away on the right-hand side. The prompt, this document, is designed to create an affidavit in support of a motion to amend a statement of claim. Again, used in the province of Ontario on a civil litigation case. That's the first thing that it needs to consider. It then looks at the role, who typically would be preparing this. Okay, so you can see you're a law clerk for Peter Langford, he's great to work for. The lawyer representing the plaintiff, so it's got the background. So to produce this, we need to be acting for the plaintiff. And as you can see here, it's brought in, we're representing the plaintiff. If we're on the other side, it would be the respondent or the defendant on that side. Even brought through the details. So it's starting to populate the details over here. So the template, the target audience, for example, includes the court and other legal representatives. So it's almost like if you handed me the file and said, right, I need you to do a motion document on this, Jane, and here's the file, off you go, I would say, okay, where do I start? Where do I start? Is this the right information? Have I captured it in the right way? What this prompt does is it takes away all of that. So it's great for anyone to produce those documents. So we can see the template pulls through the details from the file. Also, if we scroll down, we've got different sections. So clearly state the affidavit's been submitted and why. Provide the background details. So it's clear instructions, as you can see. Now you'll do this at the click of a button, and you'll know the flow, you'll know how it needs to be presented. But could we match the time that it's taken for this AI panel on the right-hand side to then extract that information from your file? Absolutely not. That's been done just while we've taken a look on just page 1. But if we just scroll down, the reason for the details, the final sentence needs to be this. These are the exhibits that I need you to list, and then please note there's a kind of a disclaimer at the bottom. The rules: missing, insufficient, inconsistent, or unspecified information. So on some of your prompts, you'll see this is what it's used for. This is the template, the format of the template. Here are the rules. This is how you need to present it. And as you can see in that legal formatting, there's no stone unturned on that side. Okay, so that's the instruction. On the right hand side, we've got the documents, and it's still fetching those files. It's still finding that information. But if we scroll down, you can see that's what it's found. So if you started the affidavit off and you needed the contents, you can pull in those contents from that right hand side. Now, again, as you can see, I'm going to drag it over so we can see how it's working. You can reload if you need it to refresh. You can see typically now how the AI works. We can ask it to remove things. You can see the reference points where it's found the information at the bottom. It's not just kind of, picked it up from somewhere. It's picked it up and using the evidence and the information from those documents. Okay, a lot quicker than what we could do. And then typically you've got your regenerate your response at the bottom and also copy your response, but you can also then ask it to ask any information, ask more questions. Now you've got that information, you might then want to prompt further questions and examine the matter a little bit further, like so. So I'm just going to copy my response. I'm just going to open up Word. We're going to say we have got our form or our affidavit on there. I'm just going to paste it, guys, into a blank document for you, because then you'll see that it copies over with all those details. So as you can see, each kind of type or each section or each AI piece that we've looked at today, from the matter summary, which did a great job in getting that summary ready for us on a matter, all the way through to details and correspondence. You've got the AI feature there, you've got the matter chat AI, and we know that there's other things that we can click on, like specific documents in Word and open up the matter AI panel. We've got the research there, and of course within forms and precedents you've got your AI prompt library. But all of those documents, all of those AI features, they're all put together to make your life a lot easier, help you to work efficiently, save you heaps amounts of time, because you've got a lot of documents, you've got a lot of evidence, a lot of things to go through, and hopefully you've seen a lot of great features today. So that's the end of my presentation, guys, my little kind of webinar to you.